to the republic for which it stands,
one nation, under God,
indivisible,
with liberty and justice for all.
Guns, self-defense, concealed carry. This is the Patriot Defense Podcast. From the war room in Idaho's high desert, here's your host, Todd Echols.
And we are back once again. It is Sunday afternoon, and we are tucked away in the war room somewhere in the high desert of southern Idaho. And I've actually have visitors today, and more than just Eli. Not that I appreciate you being here, Eli, but we got one of the OGs back. We got the Cajun Cowboy.
Yeah, nobody wanted me back, man.
Yes, we did. It got quite lonely in here toward the last part of the summer when it was just me, man. I was lonesome.
Well, it should ease everybody up with the winter, but yeah, snow's coming, so.
And then it's going to ease everyone up even more.
It'll ease them in their house.
Well, I got the Bluetooth capabilities on my board.
Okay.
So we'll call you up. You can. Where are you at? I'm snowed in. All of a sudden we hear ding ding. What are you doing? I'm getting dinner. I'm at the drive-through. Give me a hamburger. Some French fries.
As long as DoorDash is still going, they should have 4-wheel drive. They can make it.
There you go. You think so, Idaho? You think 4-wheel drive would be a must?
No.
Well, how you been, sir?
Busy. High drama lately, man. High drama.
High drama. It's all them blacked out vehicles parked outside your residence because your podcast, isn't it? Isn't that what it is? It's the phone. It's the phone tapping. It's all that.
The humming of the drone.
The humming of the
I love when guys do that. That Black Hawk helicopter came across my house. Come on, man. Come on.
You were just in there watching YouTube the other day. All of a sudden, a red laser.
Nah, that's Elon Musk right now. He better watch his back.
Yeah, for sure. So you've just been busy, lots of drama, working still.
Yeah, that's where the drama's at.
No new guns, no ammo, no nothing.
No, nothing.
Nothing.
No, I found a gun though. I thought I got rid of.
Oh yeah.
Remember that Derringer?
Oh, you found it?
I found it.
He's the only guy I know that can't locate his firearms.
I forgot I had it. I thought I got rid of it. And I'm breaking out the Desert Eagle, and I'm like, what's this box still doing here? I thought and I opened it, and it's in there. I'm like, look at this. You brought that when I lived in Filer, we were shooting that, right? Yeah.
That thing, we were shooting at logs, I think.
Yeah. Well, it's
45, right?
It's 45. It's rather large.
It is.
To be a mini gun.
But it's fun.
If you put it next to the DV9, the DV9 is tiny, and it holds, 8 rounds or 7 rounds of...
I need special, dun 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 music when you mention the DB9, because that's like my nemesis.
Yeah. Well, we got to bring that out next.
I gotta get some more time behind the DB9. It's the one gun I cannot get to group anywhere. It's horrible.
It's terrible. And
I'm pretty sure it's the gun and not me. On
this occasion, I'll give you that leeway.
That gun hurts.
Does it?
It hurt. It's literally this big. It's like this big.
You can't hold on to it.
There's nothing to hold on to it. The trigger, it takes a freaking freight train to pull that trigger. It is absolutely just. I shoot. Well, it's jerking the trigger because when I shoot it, I'm continually group low and left.
That's what I was thinking about that Derringer. It's so bad if you don't jam it in somebody's gut and rock it off. It's like a 80-pound trigger.
Well, it's a mouse gun. It's a belly gun, right?
Yeah, well,
Derringer, right? You gotta sling it out of your sleeve while you're dealing stud.
I don't have one of those.
Oh man,
I need one.
I saw this thing.
If I could find one, I'd buy it.
I saw this.
I would.
Oh, I know. Well, I saw something you got to find and buy. They probably don't. It's not even around anymore. There was this history column going around Facebook for a while, and I forget this guy's name. And he developed this gun. He wore it on his. It was didn't look like a gun. It was just kind of a circle thing, and he wore it up here on his chest. Mm-hmm. And so if he was, and it came out, it was a long time ago, and he had it set up he had I don't know, ropes or string or something going from it down his sleeves. And so if he ever got held up, he'd raise his hands, and one string would aim, the other one would pull the trigger. It'd shoot out of this thing that was strapped to his chest. It was just one of those weird gun things that you see, you know?
That's wild.
That is wild. If I can find the picture, I'll send it to you. I kind of want to try it.
How did this guy die?
I'm not I'm not sure. Maybe he put it on backwards one day.
Misfire.
Misfire. Well, you know, some of the other weird little gun things that I've seen in the past where, in fact, I think up in Pocatello down the road, was it last year? No. Last year it was something else, but trappers used to use these little deals where it was actually like a fire, like the animal would get trapped, they'd do something, and it would fire a little like 38 special round into them. Like they'd put out a trap for like a, you know, I don't know, a raccoon or a coyote or a wolf, and they'd step on it and they'd like fire a 38 special round into them and kill them.
Wow.
Yeah,
It's good for skunks.
oh yeah, yeah. Set that in town for cats.
There goes the cat people.
There goes the cat. Well, what have you been up to, Eli? It's been like a long time. I saw you Thursday.
Yeah. Since then, got my first speeding ticket ever.
Oh,
man. Right down the street. Yeah.
Right here in Buell?
Yep.
In front of your house?
Yeah.
Oh, how close? Did he let you go back to your house and get your wallet?
No.
Okay.
I'll be taking it to court.
Okay.
Yeah. Always take that stuff to court.
Always.
I love California. You can do court through the mail. Through the mail. You know what happens when you opt for that?
Yeah.
I don't know if they still do it. When I lived there, you could do you submit. I'm going to do it through the mail, and they just drop it. Like,
Yeah.
we ain't got time for this crap.
Yeah, if you push it, yeah. Especially now with so many departments with not enough prosecutors and whatnot.
You're probably going to get off.
I'm gonna try.
How fast are you going? Or if you're going to take it to court, maybe we better not talk about it.
Yeah, I'm taking it to court. I had a semi in front of me, let's put it that way, on a 1-lane road, so
Okay.
couldn't have been going that fast.
Gotcha. Okay, we'll just leave it at that. We'll do, Well, we want to know how it ends. So after court, let us know.
Yeah, when are they even going to schedule it? I mean,
Yeah, I don't know, but it's funny even
Christmas Eve.
they do this whole sales pitch too when they give you the ticket. And I remember, that's how we did it. But the sales pitch of, you could go online and go pay it right away. No. You're going to tell me I'm admitting guilt, just go pay it? No, you give the ticket, you better be ready to go to court for it.
Yeah.
I'm just going to go online and pay it.
Well, and if the
I'm like, I ain't got time for this crap.
well, if
That's what they're expecting, though.
yeah.
That's what they're expecting.
well, and if the officer who gave it to you, if he doesn't show up to court, it's out anyway, right?
Yeah, that too.
So there's a good chance he might just be like, "It's my day off, forget
He
it."
gets paid for that stuff.
Yeah, he does. But then they have to work that schedule. So if they're shorthanded, right, they have to figure out how to fill his body actually out on patrol and whatnot. So it's kind of an ordeal. So that's why I say always press it. Always press the issue.
I like it. I like it. Okay, well, hey, we talked about doing something. Was it last podcast or the podcast
Your
before?
first speeding ticket ever. That's hard to believe.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah.
Before Idaho, where was you living at?
California.
Well, I guess you get away with a lot more. They're busier in California. If I remember I don't know why I'm going down this rabbit hole. The streets are empty at 2 a.m. and it is horrible during the daytime. Man, you hit up 80, 90 miles an hour and nobody even bats an eye. They're like, well, nobody cares. Get out of here. They'll pass you.
Well,
They're
when
like,
you were in California, you kind of had to get out of jail free card, didn't you?
I never used it in that way. that would be wrong.
And we don't want to.
They didn't see it when they pulled up your license?
Yeah, they did.
Okay. So you didn't have to.
Never came up. Never was an issue.
Well, today you got to do a first because we talked about this a couple podcasts back, and you got to shoot the deagle, man.
Yeah.
What did you think?
It's fun. It's a workout. Yeah, that was pretty awesome. Like Kevin was saying, though. Yeah, I'd like to see that at night because I'm sure there must be a fireworks show going on.
Big old flame comes out.
We actually had
a circle too. It's a big old cone. Looks cool.
The other coolest gun, one of the other better guns I think what we've shot at night in the dark is the Chiapa Rhino.
Hadn't shot one of those.
Those are insane.
Who's got one of those?
Oh, there's this woman that takes the women's group class. Her dad has one. She always brings it at night when we do the night shoot because it's just a ball of fire. It's huge. It's a really weird looking revolver, but what it is it's the barrel sits so low in it that you have really good control of it. And it's a 357 revolver, and that sucker just is big old flame. Big old flame. It's fun. It's a lot of fun.
I could bring the 44.
Next time. Next time.
Well, you can't get bigger than this. That's why.
Right.
I brought it. Okay.
No more small talk.
Okay.
Come on, man. I got a whole freaking room full of people here.
I'm so pissed off about the speeding.
Well, that was today, huh?
Nah, yesterday.
Oh.
Yeah, yesterday. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I got one, man. They pulled me over there like, you crossed 3 lanes. I'm like, dude, there's snow on the ground, and it's possible that my tire went over these lanes. I'm not swerving all over the place. I thought you were drunk. I'm like, I'm not.
When it snows in Idaho, there's only one lane. It's kind of there.
Oh, man,
and it's a real wide lane, too.
I hate when I can see the lane. And this happened the other night, and the other people can't, and they're just in the middle of everything. I'm like, would you get over?
Didn't we talk about this the other day? Was that you and me, or is that someone else?
What was that one?
About when it snows and you're like on Highway 30. And, it's like when someone's just going right down the middle.
Yeah.
And you're like, get over, let me pass.
30's rough. 30's rough. Big snow drifts in 30.
Especially on the end that you travel.
Yeah.
Yeah, take that back highway up to Burley. It's bad up there.
Yeah.
It's real bad.
Yeah, big drifts.
So you guys been following what's going on in Oregon? Did you guys catch my extra podcast? Come on now.
Yeah.
Okay. Crazy.
Yeah.
What you?
I listened to it, but I'll tell you, I've had too much going on. I don't even recall it.
So crazy. So they have what they call the Measure 114, and they voted on it, and it passed, not by much, but it did pass. And
Who voted on it?
The people in the state of Oregon.
Oh, they voted.
They voted, yeah. The people in the state of Oregon voted. But here's the thing, and
the machines.
Well, it could be, but look at it this way. So what it's going to end up being is Oregon is just going to be is like Washington now, and it's like Idaho could be in the next 5 years. You got a couple counties that control absolutely everything, and so I think it was like it passed. It was like 57%. So I mean, or something like that. So it wasn't by much. I mean, it was. But what it is you have all those people living in those 2 counties that make up Portland and all those other little towns right there. And they're the ones that passed it. And what's crazy is it's the liberal agenda, right, that turned Portland into such a cesspool with the riots, with the drugs, with absolutely everything. And if I saw a map, right, and it listed all the I don't know how many years, but it listed all the major shootings in Oregon. They were right there in those 2 counties. So they've created that. And created that problem, and then they're the ones that voted to pass this. But that's where all the gun violence is to begin with. It's I don't know. It's crazy to me. I mean, it's not crazy to me. I guess you expect it to happen, but it's amazing when a couple counties will control the entire state.
Yeah. Like you said, Idaho's not far behind. I just saw a headline about in Boise, homelessness has doubled since they've had that liberal mayor there.
Oh, yeah.
Like, what a coincidence.
Oh, yeah. Someone told me the other day that if you go up to the Boise airport, if you haven't been there for a while, they said there's homeless people everywhere up at the Boise airport, like just sitting on the benches, sleeping in the, all over up there, I guess.
I bet you when they go to campaign again to get back in office, she's going to run on solving homelessness.
yeah. Probably. But I've got actually have a couple of clips here, and just some audio, and we'll go ahead and play this one. It talks about the run on the guns and the gun stores. I know I've played some before, but this is kind of a new one, and it talks about kind of what's in the future, and we can play it, and then we can discuss it.
Oregon's gun laws are about to get a bit stricter. By a narrow margin, 50.7%, Oregonians passed Measure 114 back in November. 50.7%. Measure 114.
Measure 114 bans the sale, transfer, or manufacture of magazines with more than 10 rounds of ammunition and requires a permit and background check to buy a gun. Today, a federal judge approved the measure.
Well, it all comes down to the permitting process, Jeff and Elizabeth, and we've heard some sheriff's offices do not know what that new permitting process is going to look like. And if it is not in place within the next 3 weeks when the law goes into effect, that new law means that gun sales will have to cease.
It's just been total chaos in here. Just a lot of customers coming in, wanting to get in before there's any changes. You know, they're all just kind of scared and they're just wanting to get stuff before it's taken away.
Things are very active on the gun control area in the state of Oregon right now. The residents passed Measure 114, which did several things. It banned magazines that hold over 10 rounds. It required a permit to purchase and required a training course, application fee, fingerprinting, and duplicative background checks in order to obtain the permit to be able to buy a gun, in order to exercise your Second Amendment rights. It passed by a razor-thin margin. Of course, the Portland area kind of tipped the scales. The rest of the state was very much against this measure.
Everybody just has questions and nobody has any answers. You know, there's just so much confusion out there. When does it take effect? Who's affected by it? When are we gonna, when is the last day they can purchase a gun? If they purchase today, can they pick it up later? You know, nobody knows anything. We don't have any answers. We don't know where to get answers. It's just confusion all around. It started off with a lot of, really nice people coming in and just like, we really appreciate you being open, taking care of us. They're starting to get a little bit of frustration around the edges since we don't really have any answers for them. They are kind of upset. They're not happy that this didn't pass by a large margin. This isn't really what the majority of Oregon wanted, I believe. And, they're frustrated. They don't understand why they can't get some of these things and why it's being taken away. That kind of turns into some anger at times.
We went to the state court as opposed to the multiple lawsuits that have been filed in the federal court, challenging Measure 114 on the constitutional Second Amendment violation. We chose to go to the state courts because we believe that Measure 114 is in violation of the Oregon Constitution. And the Oregon Constitution is analogous to the Second Amendment. So we thought that was an important place for us to make this argument and to show that this measure goes contrary to the Oregon Constitution, and we believe that it should be defeated.
Modularity is going to be there. You can change it to anything you see in here. So if you do buy it today,
we're processing probably around 100 backgrounds a day. But that doesn't include customers coming in looking for mags, looking for ammo, coming in and picking up their previous purchases. I see a lot of people, and it's a constant flow from that noon to 5 that we're open.
My understanding is that it was happening not only in the rural areas, but even in the Portland gun stores, that they were lines around the corners, trying to acquire whatever they can. And we very much encourage that. When people feel that their Second Amendment rights are in jeopardy, the first thing they do, and it's the wisest thing they do, is to go out and make sure that they have all the firearms that they think they might need or want. We encourage everybody to go to your local gun store, buy the firearms and ammunition and magazines that you think you're going to need or that you want in order to protect yourself, your family, your home, your businesses. Now's the time to do it.
So there you go. I mean, it's getting kind of crazy over there in Oregon, and there's been some updates since then. I mean, since I actually did the first Oregon episode, is what I'm going to call it, at the beginning of last week, they actually had a judge come and say that this was supposed to take effect on the 8th, and they actually have pushed it a little bit because nothing is in place. Go figure. Go figure, right? This liberal type, law, this unconstitutional law that they pushed through. They've pushed this thing through. It's passed and it's supposed to take effect, but there's nothing in place. There's no infrastructure. There's nothing online, or there wasn't. They're working on it now, but there was nothing online. How are they going to fund this? And some of these regulations to even purchase a gun is you have to, just like you said, you have to get a permit. But to be able to get this permit that says that you can go and buy a gun is you have to show that you are what? You have to go and take a shooting course and show that you are proficient with a gun. for someone who might be buying a firearm for the first time, how the hell are they supposed to do that? I mean, they just don't care. They just make all the stuff, unobtainable, right?
Well, that's another line that you have to cross. What is proficient? What do they call proficient?
Well, yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
They want you to be John Wick out there or something.
Well, and they
just keep raising the standard. And, you did not.
Well, and they actually said that, you know what? We are actually going to, we'll get into this on the next clip, but this next clip that we're going to listen to about Oregon, they actually say that there are some experts, whoever their experts are, saying that right now they don't know of a course in Oregon that meets all the requirements. And the Oregon State Police are scrambling like crazy to get this all figured out and put into place. And I still think that they're waiting to hear on a full on, a judgment on whether or not they can continue with this law. Is it going to not continue? Is it going to continue for just a little while? They're trying, because I mean, it's straight up, it's unconstitutional, right? They just got to find someone to go ahead and say that. And I know the Oregon State Attorney General is saying, no, it's not. We're going to keep going. We're going to do this. You got a handful of sheriffs that are have come out, like in Lynn County and some other counties, saying, we are not going to enforce this. We are not going to enforce this at all. And he's like, no, you better enforce this. And it's just like we mentioned in the past, right? I mean, they may say they're not going to enforce it, but if they don't, I bet you they get another person for the job.
My thing with sheriffs not enforcing stuff, I like that.
Well, yeah.
I like that. But that's not good enough. Are you going to stop PD from enforcing it?
Yeah.
Are you going to
FBI?
Yeah. If I call you, are you going to show up and run them off?
Well, and I think those are the easiest ones to get to go ahead and tell them what to do, right? The city PD and stuff like that, because I think sheriffs are like an elected position, right?
Yeah.
Where the city they're just hired, right?
Yeah.
And do this or I'm going to replace you.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a lot easier to fire someone that's not elected.
Yeah. And I mean, that's the consistency with a lot of the stuff they're doing, because even IRS tax code, right? You ask any congressman or anybody, like, hey, here's what I made, whatever, hand them over your tax stuff. None of them can explain it to you either.
Yeah.
Right? None of this is based off of making sense to the average person. The consistency is the force, which is the law enforcement. So regardless of if you understand your taxes or not, they can send the force out there to make you do whatever it is they're saying is justified.
The Gestapo.
So same thing with this in Oregon. That's why they put it through. They know good and well. As long as we got the cops who are willing to go there and enforce it, who cares if it makes sense? I mean, you look at most of the California laws, they're garbage in terms of consistency, making any kind of sense.
Right.
But they have that consistency of, hey, we give them good retirement, good benefits, good pay. We got guys with guns who are going to go and enforce it.
Yeah, it's just...
And it's a gotcha that they can use when they want to.
Yeah.
And not, we're going to let that go. Hunter Biden, no, don't worry about that.
Yeah.
This guy? Oh, yeah, you're going to do 30 years.
I really feel for the good people of Oregon who didn't want, I mean, this is what, ooh. And I went over this in my, I freaking love Oregon.
They're trying to become Idaho.
Honestly, I was always kind of against that to a certain extent. Now I'm like, let them in.
And think about who this law is going to affect. You think they're going to those gated communities in Portland and confiscating all their guns?
Right.
And from their security as well? No, it's going to be the people who don't have all the shootings and stuff going on, who own firearms and are responsible.
Yeah, that's who's always affected with these gun laws, right? It's the law-abiding citizens, right? It's the ones that are going to do right. They're going to do correct. The bad guys, the troublemakers, the rebel rousers. You think they care how many round magazines they have? They don't give a crap about that.
Yeah,
they're gonna do what they do regardless.
Yeah, I think that little, would you say that part about having to have the permit and all that?
Yeah.
Pretty sure they were writing this and then looked over and saw their security guard and went, oh, okay, I need to make a little something for him to still have his AK.
Well, and that's what it is. It's kind of an elitist type of thing, right? I mean, too, it's not that they want the guns. It's not about guns. They don't care about guns. They care about us having guns.
Mm-hmm.
It's all about control. That's all it is, right? We're going to be starting with Oregon, right? Maybe they'll be the next Canada. I mean, Canada's got a big problem going on up there with everything. It's
What a mess.
It's a freaking mess. But I got one more Oregon soundbite. It's kind of a soundbite heavy deal, but I'm really kind of looking at Oregon. I don't know why it's like struck a chord with me, but I look at it as it could be.
It's close.
It's close.
Close to home.
It's close to home. I mean, it could be. And I don't even think I examined Washington State that much, but I'm looking at Oregon gun. It's just like it's creeping. It's just creeping. it's creeping from one state to the next, man. So here's this next clip.
Was the day that Oregon's Measure 114 was supposed to take effect. But as we told you yesterday, the gun control measure is on hold right now because of a state lawsuit out of Harney County in eastern Oregon. The legal challenges to 114 are already complex and convoluted, and it's only been a month since voters narrowly approved the measure in November. But what you need to know right now is that no part of 114 took effect today, and the next time we expect any kind of update on the future of the measure will be next Tuesday. That's the next scheduled hearing for the state lawsuit that has 114 paused for the time being. So nothing has changed legally when it comes to gun laws in Oregon right now. Guns are still being bought and sold just as they were before. But state police launched a website today that allows you to get a look at the anticipated process and application for the permit to purchase regulation of 114 if it does ever take effect. Let's show you a look here at the bullet points for the process to getting the permit. The first step before getting to the application itself is completing the required gun safety class and then getting proof that you've done it. This is definitely the biggest question mark in the process right now. State police say they're working with the Sheriff's Association and chiefs of police to get this all sorted out. 114 requires very specific gun safety training. And on Monday, the Eugene police chief came out and said that he was unaware of any gun safety class being offered right now that would fulfill what 114 requires. The next step is the application itself. So let's take a look at that. Again, this is not in effect today, but state police have it here just so you can prepare in case 114 survives its legal challenges. It's pretty standard too. It asks for your legal name, your proof of address, things like that. And then the third page is the yes/no portion, ensuring that you are somebody who's legally allowed to own a gun. There are two of these declarations that we found interesting. So one of them is that you confirm to the state that you don't use or are not addicted to marijuana. It notes that the drug is still illegal under federal law, and even though it's legal to use it recreationally in Oregon, you're not supposed to be using it at all if you own firearms. Okay, then a little further down confirms that you'll be fingerprinted and photographed as part of the background check. After submitting the application, your local police department or sheriff's office will collect a fee, which can be no more than $65. They'll take your picture and get your fingerprints. Then local law enforcement will review your application, and if it checks out on their end, they will send it to state police for a full background check. After that's complete, the state police will report back to your local police or sheriff's office with a qualified or disqualified determination. And then your local law enforcement office will have the final say on whether you get a permit to buy a gun. They have 30 days to decide after they get the yes/no from state police. So that's the process if the permit to purchase part of 114 is able to make it through the legal battles that it currently faces. There's also another section of the state police website meant to answer questions about 114, but it appears not quite ready, it seems at least. When you click on the anticipated questions, it drops down to simply say work in progress. So hopefully that's updated soon. All right, we know you have questions about 114.
So kind of interesting there. And the one thing that stood out to me, first of all, it's this 5-6 step process where you're doing something, you're getting okay, you're sending it here, sending it there, and finally it gets sent back to your local police, where even if you pass everything, they still have a say in whether or not you get this permit to purchase the gun. I mean, and the other thing in there, and we all kind of, we kind of talked about it here for a sec when that clip was playing, is the fact that they have legalized all those drugs over there, right? So you got these people that are they're doing these drugs, right? One thing in there, federally, if you are using marijuana, you can't be around firearms, right? You can't, in most states, you can't have a concealed carry permit, and that's one of the restrictions, right? So you look at that as, is that why they legalized everything? Just to give everyone a way to, you can't have this firearm now. you can't have it. And we've talked about that on the show, I think, as possibly them doing that federally just so they wouldn't allow that.
I thought the Supreme Court already shot down May issue. Maybe I'm remembering something wrong, but I thought they shot down May.
Yeah, I think they did, but I mean, hell, this is Oregon, man. I mean, this whole law is unconstitutional. It doesn't matter at this point.
I like the work in progress.
Yeah.
When we think of it, we'll let you know.
You got any other questions? Well, I mean, a week ago they didn't have anything, and now they actually have a couple of forms possibly that you have to fill out, but they still come right out and say that there's no. That guy doesn't know of any class. I think it was actually sheriff. He doesn't know of any gun class in the state that's being offered that would cover all the things that are all the requirements to obtain your permit to purchase a gun.
So since none of that's in place, what exactly did they vote on?
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean,
did they just put a checkbox liberal policy, vote yes?
Pretty much. And I just think they want to make it super difficult, super hard, and challenging on everyone, just like the federal government does when it comes to firearms, right? They're not going to come. I don't think they're going to go door to door, at least not yet, but they're going to make it. They're going to chip away at it, a little here, a little there, a little everywhere, until they make it so it's just pert near impossible. And
they're trying to make the order out of the chaos. You make laws and stuff so complicated, and just have so much out there, it creates this kind of disorder in which then the government can come in and then implement whatever they want, basically based off of everyone being confused about what's what.
Yeah,
right.
Keep the laws as vague as possible and let the administrative state, it's like the ATF, they just come up with all their stuff. I'm like, you don't have the authority to do any of that. But they have a general law that they pass, I don't even remember, 60s.
Yeah.
And let the administrative state just dictate anything from that point on.
Yeah, you look at the State of Emergency Act, for example. What's an emergency doesn't define it.
Right.
Just whenever some politician decides to declare an emergency.
And then they get to write the rules on what all they're going to do. And it's an emergency. It's law. Yeah. And then they can do, now the president under state of emergency can do anything they want.
Yeah. It all started with a little vague Declaration of Emergency Act.
Right. It's, I don't know. It's just, it'll be interesting, I think, to see where this goes. I sincerely hope for the people living in Oregon that it's declared they can't do this. I don't know. I just see it going south for them real quick.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't see it. I see it them holding the law up, actually.
And I mean, that's the thing now. I mean, you get to the thick of things that we're in right now. We have to fight the government by going to the government. It just doesn't make sense. You think about the shutdowns and stuff. What happened? I'm going to take it to the courts. Who are the courts? The government. Oh, what do they do? Oh, we'll put it off for a couple of years when it's void.
Yeah.
And so that's what we're dealing with now. So I would say my advice is to go to your local sheriff's department and police department and basically let them know directly that that's not, what you're going to go for in your community, and get a lot of your community to do the same. Because, if you're, a lawsuit and whatnot, you're fighting the government against the government.
And if you've got a sheriff in your county, right, that says, hey, look, we're not going to enforce this. We're not going to do it. Support your freaking sheriff.
Yeah.
Support your sheriff. Give that guy, because I mean, if he's truly not going to let that happen, he's going to need your support, because they're coming after him. They're going to come down on him. And anyhow, they probably have someone with a gun hassle on them, so they can say, see the gun violence.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that'll happen, right? I mean,
you have to find his line too. I went and talked to our sheriff.
Right.
Whenever they came out with, I don't remember what it was, some kind of gun grab, and I told him, there's a lot of people that like to stand behind you, man. We don't want to hear none of this.
Right.
And he said, I'm not enforcing it. I'm saying, what does that mean?
He wouldn't elaborate, would he?
He said, I'll be the first one to be arrested. I'm like, that's not good enough.
That's right.
We got guns. We got badges.
Yeah.
Let's arrest them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's have a standoff.
Well, and it's just interesting too. And the ATF now, there's funds now that they can actually come in and do what they want to do. They can, I guess, I don't know if you say deputize or turn sheriff's deputies into ATF agents now. And speaking of ATF, I did see something really interesting. I thought it was kind of entertaining myself. came across. It's really fun. I know you guys don't do social media, but if anyone does social media, visit the ATF Facebook page every now and then. Oh, wow. It's pretty entertaining. And they were talking about this planner that they had. This it was like a calendar type deal, the ATF calendar, and it's dogs. it's freaking dogs. I'm like, what? They're glorifying their targets.
They put that up.
Yeah.
That's tough.
Yeah, it's pretty entertaining, actually.
Yeah, I tell you what, if local guys can get their chance to get hands on a federal badge, they're gonna jump for it, man. Dual badge.
Yeah,
they're gonna jump for it.
Yeah, you're basically taught that's the like golden like nugget. That you want to get. You get ATF in your office, and you're like, oh, whoa, we're working with ATF. Woo.
Well, I've known a lot of people that start getting in the system, and they do everything they can to get in federal corrections, just to fight their way in there. Because once you get your foot in the door, you can move around.
The same goes with inmates, actually. Inmates hate it, county. They hate it, county. They just say, when am I going to go back to the feds?
California's got some rough counties. That's some big camps.
Yeah, and they don't get as much there. I guess, federal, they get all kinds of stuff. TV in every cell and all kinds of stuff, from what I heard.
Yeah, I was inside the Riverside County jail a few times for work.
Okay.
For work, and I'm like, wow, it feels weird being the civilian running around here. That's a big old place, man.
Yeah,
that's a big old place. I don't know what county were you in. If you don't want to say,
Sacramento.
Okay. Oh, Sacramento.
Fun.
Yeah.
Okay, well, there we go. So we got to pay attention to now. We don't have to. I know you don't have a lot of details in it, but I'm going to go ahead and just.
I don't have any.
Just bring it up. What was it called again?
The National Defense Authorization Act. I saw a little piece on it, and I've been involved in a little chaos at work.
Sure, and so we aren't going to hold you any hard facts.
Right. Supposedly, it is a part of the NDAA, which they've always, every single year, stuff trash in that because it's a $1 trillion bill. I think it's $860 billion this year, every year, and it's always a couple thousand pages long. So they have something in there that's a pilot program. Pilot as of now, volunteer only as of now.
As of now.
For military personnel as of now. Opening how to safely store your weapons at home. And I saw a commenter, Sebastian Gorka, talking on it. This is how they're going to take your guns. I didn't have time to dig into it, so I really can't comment on it.
Well, leave it to them to attach something.
The NDAA always has.
Yeah, always has stuff. And then,
stuff in it.
I still think the AWB, that's still out there, too. I mean, that's still on the table as well, right?
AWB, man.
The assault weapons ban?
Oh.
I mean, that's still out there, and if they're going to do anything with it, they're probably, right before Christmas. I mean, that's exactly when they do, and people aren't, paying attention. That or something. They got everyone focused on Twitter right now, and everything else is going on, right? And so they pull your attention, and they got that, and then you got Christmas, and then all of a sudden they show up and Merry Christmas. Guess what's in your stocking?
I'm hearing as of now they don't have the votes in the Senate. And the Senate still may change hands over to the Republicans. So,
who are we waiting on?
Kristen Sinema just announced she's an independent, so she's like, I'm no longer a Democrat, which is good in her state.
That's right.
Because they don't want to run a Democrat against her because they'll split the vote and get a Republican in. Joe Manchin in West Virginia, very red state, they've announced that they're going to run a Republican against him in 2025. He needs to, if he's going to switch parties, do it before January. He can do it anytime he wants, but he needs to do it before January because West Virginia is not happy with him being the vote that passed the green bill, the $1 trillion green bill that destroys coal and all that stuff. So he was a Democrat in a red state that people tolerated, and if they run a Republican against him, they're going to take him out. So if he wants to stay, he needs to switch. If he switches, we got 50, they got 49,
but just because he switches doesn't mean he's going to vote the way we want him to, right? I mean, how does this? I mean, is that just dumb? Do I not understand how it works?
It don't matter. It don't matter. That's why people talk about, well, this is a good Democrat. It don't matter because the party's going to take over. The leadership of the Senate is going to take over. They set all the seating for all the
Gotcha. Yeah.
I can't think of the name. All the investigations and all that stuff.
Committees.
So committee. Thank you.
Gotcha.
So they run everything. So even if he is a Republican and votes Democrat all the time, we don't care. We got Mitt Romney. I mean, we got trash, man.
Yeah. Don't get me started. The last time someone brought up Mitt Romney, I said something I shouldn't. Not on this podcast, on the radio.
He voted
show.
for Defense of Marriage Act. Okay, we're getting down to politics.
Well, we can talk about that too. Not here, but I guess.
Okay.
Not here. But it's just going to be kind of a short show tonight. I had something else written down here, but I really don't want to get into it tonight. I just kind of wanted to focus on the Oregon stuff, and it's been fun having like more people than just me or just me and Eli here. Thanks for showing up.
I showed up and it got shorter. What happened?
Well, you got work going on too. You're concentrating on that as well. So one of these days I want to fill up all the mics, and I want to just
it's been a long time that we filled up all.
Well, I just want to have. Remember the good shows where we just would joke about guns and just have a good time for like an hour? Remember those?
Yeah.
It was like 3 years ago.
That was a while back.
That was a while back.
Everybody left. Where'd they go?
Nobody likes me anymore. I don't know. You still show up. I don't know what that says about you, but
I'm lonely, man.
Great.
I mean, where's you got the gunslinger? You got Bathroom Paul.
Bathroom Paul, I think he's in San Francisco right
Percocet
now.
Dean.
San Francisco.
Yeah, he went to visit. He's got family down.
Okay.
So yeah, I haven't heard from Dean for years. I don't know where Percocet Dean went. I mean, I don't know. And we got the gunslinger. He's just busy all the time. We got Eli. Eli took over.
Eli did take over.
So I don't know whose spot you took. Probably
you bring a lot to the podcast, though. I like
you do, and I
will.
I will say this right now: people love you on the podcast.
Yeah. I like
you. People like you.
Well, yeah, I got a lot of time on my hands. So.
Well, as you can tell, I do too. I do have a question for you.
Yeah.
Not really podcast related, but so I've been dragging Eli out once a week to go run with me.
Uh-oh.
How are your legs?
You
after
don't invite me to
Thursday?
run with you.
You're more than welcome to come, sir.
I ain't coming.
How are your legs? We did some hill repeats. How are your legs, sir?
Still feel it.
That was Thursday.
Yeah, I'm still feeling it.
That's good.
Yeah, but it's a good feeling. But yeah, I'm still feeling
Ready
it.
for some more?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, yeah, sure. Yeah.
In like 4 days.
Sounded confident. You sounded confident, but I appreciate you guys.
Unless you got cleats, you ain't gonna be running soon.
Oh, you can run in the snow. It's not a big deal. It's not a big deal.
You're running up hills in the snow.
Frick yeah. It's good for your hip flexors.
All right.
I run all winter long. You have to know that by now, right?
Yeah.
And nothing slows me down. So I appreciate you guys giving me part of your Sunday afternoon. It was a good day to get you guys out for the podcast. I do appreciate everyone listening to the podcast. Share it with your family. Share it with your friends. Give them the gift that keeps on giving. Pick up their phones.
Sounds like a venereal disease.
Some might say that it is.
The venereal disease for your ears.
It's just
right here.
That's some great. That, my friend, is some great marketing. I see a T-shirt in my future. I love it. So post it on your social media. If you got any comments, you got any questions, you can call me. You can text me. Area code 620-794-6223. Area code 620-794-6223. I almost forgot my own freaking phone number because I'm thinking about the venereal disease for your ears. Yeah. Oh, if you want to help support the podcast, check out the link in the show notes. And if you want to, check out the Patreon. It's $5 a month. I just posted up like 3 or 4 new videos this week, and there'll be some more coming up soon. So I'll talk to you guys in a week. Thanks, guys. Bye.